What's up, everybody? It's another episode of Marketing for the Rest of Us. Audit your experts. That's what we're going to talk about today. Audit your experts. This is something I've been thinking about lately because it's important that in a world of deception and misinformation, that you're actually getting your information from sources that, well, ought to be sharing it with you, and that you're not being led astray by someone who either doesn't have your best interests at heart, or even if they do have your best interests at heart, is not really able to help you. So I want to share with you three things that I think will help you to simply audit your experts. And when I say audit your experts, by the way, this applies to me too. Right? You should hold me to the very same standard, maybe even a higher standard, since I'm the one, giving you these bits of information. Now, I'll caveat this by saying that these are the three things that are important to me. And this might be a very personal thing. So for you, you might have some additional criteria that you would like to use to audit your experts. Now, let's back up. What do I mean by this anyway? Audit your experts. Well, again, I mentioned that we're in this age of misinformation, and there are a lot of people with opinions. It's 2022, and to borrow a line from A Tale of Two Cities, it's the best of times, and it's also the worst of times. Anybody can get online today and start a podcast or a YouTube channel or a blog and start sharing their ideas. This is a beautiful and wonderful thing. Why? Because this is how humans interact with each other. We tell stories. We share ideas. We share our opinions. So this is perfect. There aren't any more gatekeepers anymore. You don't have to be a special kind of person to break through the noise. Anybody with enough tenacity and a voice that other people want to engage with can be there. The problem is that also means that somebody with a lack of experience or with ill intentions can be there as well. Now, I'll give you just one more caveat here, and that is that I don't think you should wait to share in your journey. For example, maybe you've just started your business. Like I'm talking yesterday. Today is the perfect day to start content marketing. Now, why is that the case? Right? Because shouldn't you have experience, etc.? Well, what you really need to consider is I love this idea that Gary Vee gives of document, don't create. Documenting your journey versus trying to create and manufacture thought leadership. Like, these are two completely different mindsets. Now, I would say that what we do here is a blend of that. Now, not that I'm making stuff up, but when I create thought leadership, it's because I'm practically applying these principles either in my life or in my business, etc. And so then I want to share them with you. So it's the same thing, but I do try to refine it a little bit. Okay. But you don't even have to do that. You could literally just start sharing about your experience, setting up your business, doing whatever it is, and be out there. But you at least need to do so with a genuine heart, with a genuine spirit. And if you're going to presume that you are an expert for people, then you need to be following, I think, these guidelines that I'm going to be giving you. And if you're someone looking for other people to follow, then I think you should hold them to them as well. All right. So the first one is this. When you audit your experts, ask a question. Are they successful? Okay. Are they successful? Now, your definition of success will come into play here. Okay. For example, Earl Nightingale famously said that success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. And some people have changed the word ideal to goal to sort of update and clarify that. So the progressive realization of a worthy goal. So for example, if you have a goal to be a high school teacher one day at your high school alma mater, then every day that you work toward that goal and every day that you live that goal, you live that reality, you're a success. Okay. That's all that matters. And that's fine. The point is, when you're teaching somebody else, are you teaching them out of a place of experience in that progressive realization or having achieved that goal? There is a very common online teaching, and I agree with it, that says, and it's not just an online teaching. For example, the movie Catch Me If You Can actually talked about this as well. And it's this concept that if you're one page ahead in a book of somebody else reading it, and you understand the content and the material and are able to teach it, then you're good. Okay, so all you have to do is be a few pages ahead of those you're teaching in your story, and bringing them along with you. And then I think you qualify for this. But I mean, you just want to look at people and to the best of your ability audit. Yeah. Are they successful? Do they have a successful, whatever they're teaching? Okay. If it's business, because that's really the context of this, and marketing. Yeah. I mean, do they have a successful business doing what they say they're doing? I mean, it's like us. I mean, do we make the most revenue of any marketing agency per year? Well, no, but we're doing pretty good. I mean, it's me and a team of 6 contractors, and we're constantly busy. We're doing very good work on a regular basis and putting things out. So it's like, here we are. Take a look. You can see us. You can interact with us. You can engage with us. So when I speak, my my voice has at least some authority on it, right? And I want to make sure of that as I'm sharing. And so make sure that whoever you're following fits into that. Make sure that you can see success in them. You can see something that is worth emulating. And we'll talk about that here in a minute as well. Okay. The second thing is, do they teach? Do they teach? Now, what I'm not saying, because listen here, this is important. I'm not asking, do they share? Right? Do they have an opinion? Because almost certainly they do. Or else we wouldn't be talking about them. They have an opinion. They're sharing that opinion. But do they teach? Dave Ramsey, I'm a fan of his. He says that you should have a heart of a teacher, right? Like when you use one of his approved financial advisors, one of the reasons why he wants you to go to them is because they have a heart of a teacher. And if they don't have a heart of a teacher and he finds out about it, he typically fires them. Okay. What do I mean by this? Okay. The heart of a teacher. So many people want you to follow along with what they're doing, but they don't want you to understand how the sausage is made. Okay. What I'm a fan of, and what I think you should be a fan of, is someone who's willing to share the sausage. Okay. Jason Fried runs the company Basecamp and founded the company and is a fantastic thought leader. He is very opinionated. He is an author. He's been blogging since like 1999. And he has this analogy of a chef. And he said, back in the day, he realized that he was getting into cooking. And so he would go to the store and he would look for a cookbook. And what he noticed is that he didn't buy the cookbook of anyone whose restaurant he'd never been to before, or somebody that he just heard or read about somewhere else. Instead, he bought the cookbooks and the materials of folks who had taught him something. So, he was watching the chefs on TV and they were sharing with him what they did, the behind the scenes. And so when he went to go buy their cookbook, it was great. Okay, now just because you buy Emeril Lagasse's cookbook, right, doesn't mean that you're Emeril, right? Or just because you go buy Rachel Ray's cookbook doesn't mean that you're Rachel. So there's no fear, at least there shouldn't be, of someone like stealing your master secrets, right? Knowing Emeril's recipes does not make one Emeril. Okay, it's so important. So in your life, in your business, you should be willing to share. But as you evaluate others and they are sharing, the question is, are they teaching you something? Are they enabling you? Are they giving you just a really good example is the other day I had a sales call, and before we even talked about my services, how we help, whatever, I spent 30 minutes giving straight up business consultation advice regarding pricing and even price strategy and everything for just no charge. Before we even started talking about what we do, because it's important from a business standpoint. Number one, that these people trust me, right? That they understand that I have their best interest at heart, because I do. And so I want to be very teachable towards them. So is the person that you're following, is your expert that you're auditing, are they a teacher? Are they teaching you what to do? And is what they're teaching, is it based on their legitimate experience and their legitimate success in the field that they're teaching and sharing? Okay, the third and final piece of criteria here to help you audit your experts is this: can you emulate their results? Now, this one is more of a long-term play, because I think very few thought leaders would be comfortable with you trying whatever they're trying to teach you for a week and then you giving up and saying, oh, it doesn't work. But pick a time frame. See if they offer up a time frame and see what happens. I mean, it's like, I don't know, a year, 6 months, 2 years, whatever it may be, in your particular line of work or your particular field or whatever it is that you're applying this criteria to. Pick a time. It's okay. I'm going to make this successful. Maybe it's just an artificial deadline. That's fine. It can be. Say, you know what? In 6 months or a year, I'm going to be successful with this. And if you are not, then give up and find another way. Because with most things, I would say, if in 6 months to a year, you cannot find some success, it's probably time to move on, to do bigger and better things, or to find somebody else's method. There are a lot of ways to do the same thing. Going back to the chef analogy, my word, how many recipes are there for a simple hamburger? You still get a hamburger, but it's different every time. I like to blend the marketing thoughts of a variety of different teachers. Okay, right now, there are 3 whose work I am really using in my life and business more than any others. And those would be Donald Miller, Russell Brunson, and Dan Kennedy. Okay, I'm sort of taking all 3 of their thoughts and their influence in my life in marketing and applying them. Now, there's another author whose work I love. His name is Mike Michalowicz, and he writes some fantastic books. He has many books about business. Many of those I apply. I don't apply his marketing books, at least not yet. Okay. It's not that they're bad. They would work. Okay. But I'm not focused on them. So what is my point? Well, my point is that there's more than one way to do it. And you don't have to blend methods. For example, you could take any one of these authors. You could totally ignore, I think, the Russell Brunson and the Dan Kennedy, way of doing things. I don't advise it. I think you would ignore it at your own peril. But you could totally ignore it, and you could just laser focus in on, okay, I'm going to pick Donald Miller. He's going to be my guru. He's going to be my marketing expert. I'm going to get all my thoughts from him. You can read all his books on marketing. You can read them 8 times over and just keep on reading them and just implement. And you can have a very successful business following no one else except that one person whom you trust. Find someone like that. Find someone with their methods. Okay. You could go onto The Future is the YouTube channel with no E at the end. The Future, his name is Christo. He's a design guy, but his business acumen and the way that they teach on the YouTube channel is just phenomenal. He teaches you how to be a good business person. You could follow nobody else's advice but his and have a very successful design or marketing business. Okay. So audit your experts. Don't be afraid to do this, and make sure that you can emulate the results of those who you're following. And if you can't emulate those results, move on sooner rather than later, so that you can find something that does work for you. All right. I hope this is a helpful episode. It's something a little different, but it is something that's important and something that I think we should all be thinking about. At the end of the day, that we live of information being so available and misinformation being so widespread. Audit your experts. Okay. Can you emulate their results? Are they successful in the first place? And then do they teach? Do they really teach and share what they're learning, or are they just kind of making it up as they go along? All right. You guys take care. Can't wait to see you in the next episode. Hey, listen, if you're interested in some website design or marketing help for your business, go to northmexservices.com. The website is laid out very clear for you, so you can see if we would be a good fit. You can learn a lot about our personality right there on that homepage. Click the big orange button at the bottom of the page to schedule your Compass call, and we can talk and see if we're a good fit. All right. Take care. See you in the next one.